Hi, welcome to the new unboxing and quick analysis and testing. Today will be a new nano quadcopter, the FQ777 brand. This is the 951C, the mini. So it comes in white edition, as you can see, or if you prefer in dark edition like mine. So this nano quadcopter is including, well, it's assumed to be HD camera, some headless function, and then of course some different pair weights and lights. So what we find in this box, here is the contents. So as you can see, I already opened the box. So first of all, here is the quadcopter. So this is a very small and compact nano. In fact, it's a little bit larger than a classic Cherson CX10. Look, the difference in size compared to, so it's something like 15% more larger, I will say. Okay, and on the good news on the rear side, you can see that the battery bay is open. It means that you can insert your own LiPo batteries. No built-in batteries like the Cherson. Okay, so it's good news if you want to have a lot of fun and you just need to swap with new fresh battery and you can resume your flying sessions. So first of all, I really like this style of canopy. It seems to be so light, and installed on front, the novelty here, you have a small lens. Okay, here very narrow lens pinhole camera. It's a m5.5 lens mount size, so it's pretty small, and unfortunately no available wide lens for such format. Anyway, the props are also much larger compared to the Cherson. Look at the difference in size, so it should offer much more power thrust. Vertical punch out should be much better, and also the motor are larger. They are 6mm by 15 instead of 6mm by 12 for a classic nano. So all these indications should let's say to her that this 951 should be more beastie or more sporty compared to a classic nano. Well, associated with this front camera, you can find on the right side a micro slot where you can insert a micro SD card to record your movies. Actually, this camera is a 0.3 megapixel. Okay, it means that you can record only VGA format. Okay, 640 by 480, nothing else. Okay, it's assumed to have 30 frames per second. Okay, when you will receive it, you will notice that the prop guard are installed, and really I like how it's easy to install. You just need to clips like this and it's done, and to remove just in clips. It's a fraction of a second. It's pretty cool. I will give you some weight indication. For example, okay, the basic nano without the battery weight 15.4 grams, and with the LiPo install you are below 20 grams, 19.5 grams. For such bigger size motors and larger props, it's very lightweight, and also it can explain why it's also sporty. Okay, so associated with you have a bag with some 4 spare props, all blacks. Maybe one first drawback of this machine, all the props are blacks. Okay, I would prefer some white in front. And another drawback I forgot to mention, on the rear side, you cannot see any power switch. It means that you have directly to plug your LiPo battery. The LiPo battery, okay, I will measure the weight first, 4.2 grams, is a basic 1 cell cellulose, 150 milliamps per hour, ending with the mini GST connector 1.25 mm GST. Beware, this cable, this LiPo, don't have any inverted polarities such like recent model like the DJI-C H20C. It means don't mix this LiPo with if you already own your DJI-C H20C, okay, or some last air-chin machine, because you will cook. If you swap the battery between both models, you will cook your respective model. What also it comes, the props of course, and then USB charging cable, ending of course with the mini GST connector. Okay, it will take approximately 20-30 minutes to recharge your batteries. You have a micro SD card reader, a 2 GB micro SD card. Okay, I'm not sure of it, but I noticed that from the recorded videos the frame rate is not constant. I'm not sure it's coming from the VGA module or the micro SD card. Okay, so maybe you will need to reformat to be sure that if you observe that the frame rate is not constant, or to change to another one. Finally, here is a transmitter. It's a very basic and tiny one. Okay, the power switch is on the top. You will need 3 AAA battery to feed your transmitter. Any NEMH batteries are working, that's good news. Okay, and here you can select one of the 3 speed modes, 30, 60 in the middle, and 100%. You have to know that the yaw mode, the yaw rates are pretty slow for the 30 and 60%. It starts to be correct from 100%. But in another hand, the pitch and roll are already very good from 60%. So maybe the yaw rate is not perfectly tuned in my point of view. You have 2 top shoulder buttons, the left one, okay? If you press on it, you will briefly press on it, you will take photos, and if you long press on it, you will start to recording. On the right shoulder button, if you briefly press on it, you will activate flips, and if you long press on it, you will activate headless. The headless feature is working very well, okay, so it's a very good news also. What to say? Okay, the good news, the radio protocol is compatible with the former FQ777 model. The 955, for example, the Scorpius is working, okay, for example, I can make a small demonstration. That is binding without any problems. Okay, so I will enter the LiPo. As I said, no power switch, so be aware when you will connect your batteries. Do not force. You have very small LEDs, not very compatible, I think, in my point of view, for night flying anyway. So I will turn on the Scorpius transmitter. As you can see, it's working, no problem at all. That's a good news, okay? So I will now perform a small demo flight, okay, and please check my others video. But by the way, to resume, this is a very nice nano quadcopter, a little bit more bigger than the classic size, but thanks to these bigger motors, thanks to the biggest props, and it's much more sporty. You have a built-in camera filming in VGA, okay. Concerning the radio protocol, is compatible with the former FQ777 model. That's good news if you prefer a larger transmitter. Concerning the transmitter range, you have something like 30 meters, but by doing the antenna mode you can expect it more. Not really night flyers, the LEDs are not so visible. I regret the absence of colored props installed on front, at least some white, but okay. And no power switch. Anyway, I really like the fact that you can remove the LiPo, like some UDI model. And well, the VGA footage are, the camera in VGA are not bad, more or less precise. The color rendition not bad too, the frame rate so, but time to time you can see some artifacts in the recording, so I'm not sure it's coming from the chip, the video chip, or from the SD card. Be aware of it. But from my point of view, this quadcopter is pretty solid and robust to main type of crash. That's also pretty good news. So I will now fly indoors, and you will see how good and how slow also is the yaw mode. Okay, so I will now power on the quadcopter. Okay, power on the transmitter. You have two arms, you have to push the throttle up and down like this, and you have these LEDs become solid here. So now you can harm, no problem. To calibrate your gyros, you have to push the bow stick, okay, in a lower outer position like this, and you can see on the quadcopter LEDs flashing fast, as well on the transmitter, and then it will become solid again. So it calibrates, okay, so I will turn on the camera by long press this long button. You have this beep, and also you have some indication on the quadcopter. Okay, so I will long press on the left shoulder button to start recording. And you should have, this is a yaw from 60%, but rather slow. But it's punchy, as you can see. So that's a pretty good news. You can hear the volume or the sound of the air 15 mm more loud. Okay, so it's very good quadcopter. Okay, now I am in 100%, so it's oops, I lost from the seat, from under the table. So maybe we can see, yes, the flip. Ups the plant. Okay, I will conclude about this FQ777-951C Mini. So definitively it's a much more sporty quadcopter versus the Cherson 610 at least. So thanks to these bigger props and bigger motors, I really appreciate the fact that you can remove the battery to install some more fresh one instantaneously, so without waiting at least 20 minutes to recharge your built-in battery like the Cherson model. Well, the camera is filming in VGA. The rendition is not bad, but the frame rate is not perfectly tuned to 30 frames per second, so it's a little bit choppy. And well, of course, with such a narrow lens, you cannot expect a very wide field of view. You have something like 60 degrees maximum. Anyway, I really appreciate also the flying duration time. We have something 5 minutes, close to 6 minutes, so it's pretty good. Well, a little bit less, 1 minute less if you are recording constantly, but if you are flying without recording, you can at least expect 6 minutes. The control range is also not bad. You have 30 meters, and I said you can fly with another FQ777 radio protocol. Well, it's robust to shock, and it's pretty cheap. It's something like $23, so it's a very good deal in my point of view. Well, maybe the camera is a little bit not so useful, but it's at least recording some stuff. Okay, so I advise this quadcopter as beginners. I regret the relatively slow rates for the first two speed mode, but from the 100% it starts to be correct. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time for another review. See you next time. Bye bye.